Talking to your doctor. I like this subject because I think we can all, on a basic level, connect here. Are there any doctors in the audience, by the way? Not one doctor? Oh, this is good. We can really beat up on it. Okay. This is going to be good for doctors and patients, but I think, so here's the trick. Talking to your doctor in the 21st century. So we all know that we all have a story to tell about going to the doctor. Hey, he didn't understand me. I tried to get this information, but I got that. Why did he tell me this? But I think it's anecdotal. So I'm going to present some numbers here. Turns out that about 80% of medical disputes involve miscommunications of some kind. Doctors are just not asking, did you understand what I told you? So if you don't understand me, forgive me, I'm not going to ask that either. But this is a simple question, not getting asked. Over 90% of mistakes in the hospital are because of miscommunication. And this is important to note here, that it's not just doctors not telling patients things. This is also doctors not telling other doctors things. This is also patients not telling doctors things. So it's a two-way street here. And just why am I here? Why is this guy here telling me about doctors? Well, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I like to think of myself as an entrepreneur. I don't know if I have the DNA, but... and I was diagnosed in 2005 with a chronic autoimmune disorder, and what that means is that my immune system attacks my own body. So I'm at the doctor a lot, and I'm talking to them, and I have this problem all the time. So the ICC, you've already heard about it, International Create Challenge, which is at EDAP. It's an awesome program. If you haven't read about it, you should go and look at it online. I met Eric Ziegler. He's a neurophysicist working on his PhD. That means he studies brains, simply put. And Tristan Renaud, who's here today, is an engineer and is a real entrepreneur. He's definitely got the DNA. So Eric says, why is this playing automatically, by the way? So Eric says, okay, I got this problem. No one understands what I do for a living. I go to conferences with experts, and they don't understand the research because I'm showing them pictures. Doesn't make sense. I want to take my, let's see if that works, biological data that I collect, and I want to create something physical that people can understand. So we called it BioMod, this project. It's not a great name, so if you have an idea, a good, better name, we'll talk after this. So here's a pop quiz. Can someone tell me what this one is? Any of? Just guess. Brain. How about this one? Brain, not a brain. This is actually your knee. This one might be a little more obvious. That's a baby in the womb. So there's the mom's spine, there's the baby, and the baby's looking in good position to come right out. So you could immediately see that there's this problem of scale, right? But this is the tool that a doctor has to explain to you when there's a problem. This is the tool. So what's the silver lining? If we can improve communication, we can make it work, you're much more likely to follow your doctor's instructions, which makes your doctor very happy. And that's just from a training. There's no technology here. If we can improve communication, we can actually reduce rates of anxiety, depression, and actually reported pain. So people feel better just because they're hearing things clearly. And they think they understand. Not necessarily they do understand, but if they think they understand. So what does BioMod have to do with any of this? Well, remember this? Indecipherable stuff. Well, we have a technology that's commercially available called 3D printing. And what we do is we take these images, and very simply we convert them into a 3D object. So we actually print it out, and I think it's still here. Someone didn't steal my brain. There's a picture of my brain. Here's an actual model of the brain. So you can immediately grasp that you're getting a lot more information. Why does this dude keep doing this to me? Right, there's the brain, and here's the model. So you can see that and if you want to come up and see this afterwards, please do, by the way. So how does this 3D printing work? What's it going to do for us? Well, here's a good example, because this is cool. This is chocolate. You can see this is a robot here with putting the chocolate out and going in circles, and you can imagine a chocolate brain coming out. And here's the result. You can see the layers, right? Very clearly, layers of chocolate. But you can imagine another material. So it's a very cool process. It's also already being used in some things. So here's a prosthetic limb. And you can see the front's been printed. And it's built to match his actual leg. So he gives him some confidence because now he's got a leg that looks like something like a real leg. And it fits better. And here's a cool thing. We can do all sorts of materials. So if you can imagine a material, glass, plastic, chocolate, everything in between, soft materials, hard materials, combinations of different materials. So it's quite powerful. And we can also manufacture things that are basically impossible to create by other means. For instance, this. You might be able to sculpt this if you had 5 months, but you'd never get the data onto the shape. So it's a very powerful tool. And now you guys are thinking, okay, we're not stupid. We've seen this before in the news. But what you haven't heard about is how it's happening in the background. So let's take a practical scenario. Let's say I go to the doctor, I got a broken leg. Maybe I went base jumping. Didn't land quite right, because I'm not an expert. So the doctor here, he gives his information to the engineer. The engineer is not a doctor, like me, doesn't know anything about medicine. They go around in circles. Here comes the CAD model. Oh, keeps playing itself. It's got a mind of its own. So here he comes. He goes to the engineer, right? So there's this feedback loop here. So finally, the engineer gives the CAD model to the actual guy who's going to make the model. This guy also has no clue about medicine. So he's confused. So now everybody's kind of confused. And meanwhile, my leg's broken. And eventually, there's the printer. We get the model all the way to the printer and hopefully back to the doctor. So this is the way it works right now. It's a project-by-project basis. So here's these guys. And what's Biomod going to do? What's our project we want to do? Get rid of that and replace it with us. So now here's my doctor. She gives the data to us. She picks what she wants. She hits the easy button. She hits print. She gets a model of a leg. So she can see, there's the break. There's the problem. The surgeon can say, there's the break. I know how to fix this now. So it takes the mystery out of surgery. It takes the mystery for me out of the problem, because I don't know what's wrong with my leg. I just know it hurts. So what's really useful about models? Well, I think you get a little bit of an idea here. It's the touch, the hands-on learning aspect of this. It's very powerful. Your brain and your eyes evolved over 1 billion years to look at things in real life. And what have we done? We've created all of these 2D screens, which takes all of the information out. And maybe you have virtual reality, but it's still not the same as this. And that's what we're going for. Better communication, this keeps playing itself, is a happier patient. So, and a happier patient is a happier doctor and a happier family. And so that's what we're really trying to do. We're really trying to make communication happen between a very highly specialized person and a person who has no idea what's going on. So what's going to happen in the future? Well, customized everything is the short answer. So before, maybe you wanted a custom suit, it was going to cost you a huge amount of money. You wanted custom shoes. That was for the elite. In the future, it's going to be for everyone. We're going to see custom medical devices appearing all over the place. And people are already working on bones and organs. So remember that guy we saw before with his plastic leg? Well, in the future, that's what's going to happen. We might be able to even replace the leg, so there's no more prosthetics. So I think the horizon's looking pretty good. And I just want to thank you, take a second and think about your mobile phone, which we just learned about mobile phones, and what they were doing, say, 10 years ago. Did you think that your mobile phone would be an encyclopedia 10 years ago? It seems like a magical device, but it really works. So this technology seems like magic today, but I think if you think maybe a few years in the future, what's magic today is really going to be reality.